And it's just there, visitors
and
around.
Mom gives you this eye, you know?
Yes.
Catch more of this every Monday to Friday at 9 p.m.
A very good evening to you. The joy of the Lord is our strength. That is why we smile always. And by the way, smiling is medicine. Of course, we are excited. We are in the last week of this month. We want to thank God for the far He has brought us. This is the 5th month of this year, 2024. Mwaka tugutambuddeko, we shall be there. None of us is dying. We speak, the Bible says, I shall not die, but I will live to proclaim the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Yea, you and I shall not die, but we shall live to proclaim the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Today is a Monday, and of course this is the Monday excitement, the Monday vibe. The vibe is high, and we're excited. Of course, much as we're talking about excitement, there are parents who don't know what is next. Schools have opened. Now we are back into the other cycle of traffic jam. Yeah, but it is all well. So we are speaking to the parents this evening. Last week we were here and we started talking about a checklist, a parental checklist. As a parent, what are you checking out of this holiday? Now, today we are even expanding it. Of course, when we ask the children to present their requirement sheets, they give us an endless list of what they need and what they want. I mean, they are all confused in the list. And now the parent is on the run, is moving here and there, darting to see that they provide what the children really want or what the children really need. Why? Because we are confused. We don't know how to differentiate between a need and a want. So whatever the children ask from us is what we offer to them, because they have become our lords and bosses. Very, very unfortunate. Edwin Austin Mukalazi is my name, and today we are deriving our discussion from there. And before we even delve into the deeper understanding of this, I would like to request our guest, none other than Ellon Kiwumulo. She's a teacher. She's also a counselor. I mean, she's a woman of very many talents. But let her greet us before we get into today's topic. It's a pleasure having you again.
It's a pleasure to meet too.
We are excited. Last time, as we winded the show, I mean, it was something different. And but here we are even today. How has been your week? We met last week, Monday.
The week was well.
Okay.
It was okay. Of course, preparing children for going back to school. Yes.
Were you among those parents you're talking about that are busy running here and there? In the Chikubo, now Nakasero, now Arua Park, everywhere.
I was, of course, among, but also after talking last Monday, we still got those take-homes. You know, when you're speaking to people, it really makes sense when also that message checks you. So I really had to spare time and speak into the lives of my people before they leave, to give them that segment of what they need.
Okay.
Because with wants, yes, but what is that they need? So we had to air out some things here.
Okay.
And there.
That is interesting. Now there is something that rose up. I mean, I could say that rose up from what we discussed last week.
Yes.
Very many parents are on pressure, if we can start it from there. They're on pressure of providing everything that the children is asking for. Why? They don't want to hurt them. They feel my child will feel bad, they'll not be happy at school, they'll feel as if I don't love them if I don't provide this and this and this for whatever they have provided. And parents are on pressure, they're on tension over their own children. I mean, I think the right statement would be they are now slaves of their own children.
Yes.
They are enslaved into into satisfying what the children have requested for. Is that how things should be in parenting?
I think that's not the way it would be, or that's not the way we're groomed. But in this era, it's like we are dealing with, we are parenting lords and ladies. So it is, the children are our lords. Eh? There are lords, there are ladies, and it's a challenge to parent our lords and ladies. That's why each time we are at their mercy. You know, when it comes to the Nigerians, when they call that person, you know, they'll say Oga, you know, those things. Now things have switched. Yeah?
That's the only thing we are left with, bowing down.
We are, you know, Oga, you know. Now these lords and ladies have taken on the part of being the Ogas. And yes, we are on pressure. We are on pressure. It wouldn't be like that. We have that segment, we would have that segment of speaking into these children's lives, giving them what they need. In most cases, you realize that it's not very comfortable to speak outright about what they want. Yeah. But it's in a way that each time we are enabling children. We are enabling children. And it is like the more we enable them, is the more we disable them. Because when they say, I need this, you provide. We are enabling them. And it's also happening that at a certain age, at a certain stage, we need results from these children. But we cannot give them, we cannot have results from people we abled all the time. For a parent out there, I would tell you that every time you have not given this time, given chance to your child to test the other side of the world that is hard, you've abled them all the time. You're making them lame. At 25, for example, they're coming into the field to hustle like the rest of the world. They are very new and very naive because they were not started. They were not started on that kind of life earlier on. So that's why this time, after providing the fees, after providing the pocket money, we now have to have our intentional parenting that is result oriented. But remember, now parents at times remember that they need results from children. They plan for the children's future in future.
Please repeat that.
They plan for the children's future in future. In most cases, how is it like?
Yes.
They wake up to realize that this child needs a future when they are already in the future.
What about parents who are saying, "Kolerera abana bange"? I mean, all they are doing, they say, "I'm planning for my children." How is that different from what you're talking about?
You cannot plan and work for the children who you don't know.
I know them by name. I know he's Andrew. I know he's Muhumuza. I mean, I know them.
There are two things. Parents who have succeeded in Nkolera Abana Bange are those parents who have been in their children's lives, not next to their children, like we said the other time. Now, if you're next to their life, meaning you'll provide all they need. You'll be in the house by around 3 because Nkolera Abana Bange. By 5, you're out of the house, Nkolera Abana Bange, which is okay. Do you know this child you're working for? Do you know their interest? Have you put them on the panel to bring them to share out what whether they'll handle what you're preparing for them? This is why it's very easy. When a parent leaves the world, children begin selling off everything. Why? You planned minus their involvement. And you cannot
plan for them what they are not interested in.
Yes. And yet if you brought them on table, understood that this child is different, this pattern is different, this child is different like this, and this one is different in this kind of format, and this is what would please this person, this is what would please this child, I think there you will be a better parent.
Okay.
Meaning this time you're not planning alone. We plan as a group, because we say in family we win as a group. Children are very wise and they have ideas. But at times we think they cannot reason. One time my boy was in senior, was in P4. I asked him something. How do you think we can develop this place here? Mommy, you know, we need grass in this place. And we need to live with this compound very well. But when we are renovating this place, we shall arrange where we are putting the septic tank. We have to put it in a different place. You know, now I didn't know that. I was testing his thinking. So I asked. Little did I know that the boy was mature. The boy had ideas. Now we are on two different planes. Children at the other side, we are also in this side. We are busy giving them
whatever they ask for.
Whatever they
Sometimes they even make phone calls. Is that bad?
Yes.
As you're coming back, please,
yes.
I need this.
Which is okay. Now it is us who have made those children lords, and they are playing their part very well to make us their slaves.
Slave, slave, slave.
In America.
This is not America anymore.
In Uganda.
In homes.
In homes.
Well, this is by the very serious, even as we laugh at it. But I mean, sometimes you look at a parent and you can see the pain in their eyes, but they don't know how to run away from it. Why? Because they are already enslaved. They are now working on the tunes of the child. Last time we were talking about the issue of prom parties. I mean, the parents are on the remote of the children. But how can parents now come out of that? Because it is already there. You're already a slave. Are you just going to abandon the children, go get other children? Or, I mean, what can they do to come out of this?
Now, I would think... I would take this pattern. First of all, parenting is the hardest paper, like we said the other time. Even at 90, someone will ask, where did you grow up from? Who raised you? So parenting is a hard paper.
Actually, after that, I read Ben Caso's statement where he says parenting is more difficult than a neurological surgery.
Parenting is hard, but again, parenting is not for cowards. It is not for cowards.
Does it mean that the cowards should not get children?
Now, why do they say that a parent is not a coward? We shall look at this home as also a mentoring ground. No mentorship is easy. No mentoring ground is easy. When children are at school, they know those strict teachers. It is hard work. Now, even in parenting, we are supposed to develop a scheme that gives us results. Not expecting the results in future and saying that, you know, I did it all for the child, I did this. I
sacrificed my best to see that you become this.
Yes. Now, here, what we also do, we have to parent with accountability.
Accountability.
I happen to be one of the tough lovers. I'm a mother who is a tough lover. I believe in children who have to learn, like eagles, they have to learn how to fly. Because I won't be with them all the time.
Learning the hard way.
Yes. And there are things I've learned. The Bible says that what you sow is what you reap. I expect these children to love me the way I love them. And to care for me the way I care for them. For example, they're in the holidays. They're supposed to wash my clothes. Now, to a certain parent, that will be hard.
I pay a maid
To wash no,
clothes?
they're supposed. Why am I involving them into washing my clothes? I need that attachment. The more I'm dying to do it all for them, can they also die to do something for me?
So is that a payback check?
To some extent, I'm a tough love, I say. When you wait for these children to pay you in future, things will be hard. We've looked at scenarios of boy children. When they marry, they go and they're taking care of their wives you see. But relationships are a social transaction. As I give you love, I also have to feel I'm loved back. Yeah? I also want to get home when there is this environment that, Mommy looks tired. Today it's me preparing the juice. Mommy, should I give you some water? Mommy is sick. We also need that from children because we are always taking care of them.
Now, there is something that is so confusing, based on what you've said. I've read about the different personalities and temperaments, and there is those specific temperaments where people are described as not caring. I mean, they don't mind. Even when you're dying in bed, they'll go out and do stuff. So how about if you have a child like that?
Let me tell you, the way I understand these things, those things don't work at all. Why? If you also refuse to take care of a person who has that kind of temperament, they will demand for that care. Meaning they understand what they are doing. We are very specific. The Bible says that what you sow is what you reap. If I'm sowing care, my dear, love me back. Because if you don't love me back, I'll also hold my love. When I hold my love, for me I need accountability.
Do children know that, sometimes we think they're vulnerable, but do they know that they should give back some of these things that they are offered? Like love, care.
You're amusing me. Thinking that children are vulnerable.
No, this is what parents think.
Children are very manipulative and wise.
Very many parents think that children are vulnerable.
My dear, children are very manipulative and far wiser than us. I'll give you an example. Most of the time, I used to take care of my children, and I was so dominant as the mother in their lives. And I have 2 boys and 1 girl. So I took my boy to Mwiri to hustle with fellow men because I felt I didn't want this boy to suffer female dominance. The nurseries are women, those things. So I took him to hustle with fellow men. And when we go to Mwiri, I'm a tough love, I told you. My things are not very easy. Parents, please bear with me. But for me, I'm seeing results out of the tough love. And I'm sharing with you what has given me results. So this boy goes to school. I made sure I take him to school the first day, that is senior 1. And I told him that you'll bring yourself back and you'll always take yourself. Now that is not easy for any parent. Good enough when he got there, he realized that, even other boys are bringing themselves back and taking themselves to school. So there, I was comfortable. Now, I made sure that I kept telling him, please communicate. Whenever you get to school, communicate. Now, one time, around senior 2, he went to school and he didn't communicate to me that, Mommy, I'm back. Mommy, I've gotten to school. I felt bad. I wanted to call to ask the teacher that how come I've not had a call from this boy? Because I've told him to communicate. Now the boy didn't communicate. But I was dying. But remember these things of tough love, The tough love also affects you.
Now why would you hurt yourself because of tough love? You're hurting inside, but you don't want to swallow the pride.
I felt so bad and I said, okay, I'm hurting, but I also won't call. This boy has to learn to do what to call. I said, okay, just in case you got an accident, the teachers would call me or they will call me. I hadn't. Now, after like a month, when pocket money is over.
Hey, February to Tuesday.
Hello? The boy calls. Hello, mommy. So, I was tough. I asked, who told you to get to school and why didn't you call me when you got to school? He told me, you know, mommy, I didn't have access to a phone. And now, when it comes to pocket money, every child has access to a phone.
Yes.
But when it comes to things that help you as a parent, you know, mommy, I'm at school and I've gotten there safely. He cannot battle to ask for a teacher, for a phone to call you.
The teachers are busy receiving other children.
How come? When it is pocket money time, they'll struggle.
Now the teacher is the teacher is somehow free. They can now offer their phone.
Let me tell you, children are very wise and very manipulative. We got to second stage. You know, mommy, my shirts were stolen, those things. When you go to schools, usually, when we are ending that term, on the dustbins there are new buckets, there are new sweaters, Bensons, children, because children don't want to, those things are not really old, but those children don't want to go back with them the next what? Term. They want new things every time. For parents who are in boarding, who have children in boarding, know this. Now, then the list of things that had gotten stolen were many. I said, okay, now we're not going to disturb ourselves anymore with these things. We got the pocket money. And we began, the pair of shirts was stolen, okay. We subtracted from the pocket money. What else? The Benson, we subtracted from the pocket money. What else? Whatever we subtracted from the pocket money did not get lost again. Because they also don't want to reduce their pocket money.
Tough love.
When it comes to their pocket money, they hurt. Mommy, no. Mommy, please. Mommy, please. They don't want to touch their pocket money. Now, whose money do they want to touch? My money. They would rather dig money from me to cater for their inefficiencies.
Because they're your property, that's what they think.
Now, for a parent,
your money belongs to them.
Now, but if it belongs to them, that is okay. But we're also supposed to win as family, so we share this money and we need it as family. You see? Now, when you're that kind of person or parent who is not going to ask for accountability, things will be wrong. There are things we've had. We do parenting sessions, we talk to children. There are things that a child could not tell you that I'm in this, or there are things you would not discover if this child really felt for you. What does the Bible say? I'll still quote it in Luganda, it's in Proverbs. Omwana w'amagezi asanyusa kitaawe, naye omusirusiru anakuwaza nnyina. This is a common segment I use when we are doing parenting talks. Or when we're speaking to children. And I question, I ask, of the two, the mother and the father, because mothers have gone wild. They are all over because of children. You will go to markets, women are all over because of what? Of children. And when you ask them, who is very present in your life, mommy or daddy, all of them put up their hands very well. It is mommy, it is mommy. And what does the Bible say? Omwana w'amagezi asanyusa kitaawe, naye omusirusiru avumaganya nnyina. I plead to these children and ask them, bwe muti bwe mutusasula, lwaki temutukendereza ku kibonerezo? You wouldn't go into drugs if you really know that mommy akufiirako. You would not go gay if you really know. You cannot tell me I'm now pregnant and it is okay. You cannot tell me I'm sleeping around. When in actual sense you know how much I feel for you and you've seen me toil. Meaning if you're doing that without considering me, we are on two different pages.
We are taking a short commercial break. We are coming back shortly. Stick with us, please. Welcome back from the commercial break, and this is really interesting. There are things that we underlook as parents, but they are very important. We don't want to regret in the future and say, Kale Singana Namanya, I would have done this. Please let us listen through. There is something very important on this table. But before we get into the discussion again in this second part of the story, of the show, I want to remind you that on the 29th of June, there is something very, very pertinent and very, very important about families. The Interreligious Council of Uganda has organized the first of its kind, the Family Festival, that you do not have to miss. It will be on the 29th of June at Kololo Independence Grounds, but entrance is free of charge. Come and listen through. We shall have a session where children share out their expectations. So as a parent, do you know what your child expects from you? Before we think about our expectations from them, I mean, children have answers. They also have issues that press them as children. But are you aware that these children are going through some inner persecution simply because you, their parent, you're out of their lives? Of course, we keep on crying now. Children are drug addicts, children are this and that. But the question is, where does it all become? Someone was telling me that when we launched the Safe Screens, Safe Kids campaign as Church of Uganda Family TV, he said, we are launching the Safe Screens, Safe Kids, but there was a time when the screens were safe. Why are we now agitating for safe screens? What went wrong? That is what we want to fix. So, the guest of honor is the President of the Republic of Uganda and Mama, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Mama Janet. But there will also be other past presidents of Africa, religious leaders, and very many other people you do not have to miss. So, the event will start at exactly 8 a.m. up to whichever time, because all meals shall be provided. So, just come and be part of this big event. Now, getting back to what we are discussing today, you know, that challenged me when someone said there was a time when things were okay and what went wrong. So the reason we are struggling, when our parents were raising us, they raised us the right way. But what went wrong? That we have failed to transfer what our parents put in us into our children.
Now, first of all, we appreciate the system then. The system then had a lot of social support system.
Okay.
Big social support system. In case you had an issue as a parent, you would speak out to societies, aunties, uncles, you know. It was that kind of extended family that really groomed us. Yeah. Now we're in an era whereby parents are stressed because of different issues. But remember, it's like as if it's no longer healthy to speak out. Actually, you will realize that we have a lot of mental health issues now. Exactly. Because speaking out is showing you're weak. That's so they say. And yet for us psychologists, we know speaking out is one way that speaking out your problem, your challenge, is a strength because you've opened the door for treatment.
Do you know if people don't want to speak out?
Now, look at this. You have issues. At times, some of these issues that are happening here, we will look for money, but we're also dying. We're also dying out there because we have issues. Meaning we have to look for therapists to help us offload. Now, I'm a hurting mother who is parenting a hurting child. What results will you expect? I'm a hurting father who is parenting a hurting child. So that's why these children make there is a way they make their island. They go on their island. Because remember, I, the mother or the father, am also in a mess. You see? Now,
The world has torn you apart.
Yes, that failure. Amidst that, these children are always demanding their rights. If you went worldwide, rights of children are always, a lot of noise about rights. Yes, which is okay. Children are bargaining well for their rights, and as parents are failing to bargain for their responsibility. Because it is rights and responsibility. For example, loving me back and caring for me back as a child, it is your responsibility. Understanding that I'm also not well, and at times I also break, it is also your responsibility, as I also do it to you. Relationships are a social transaction. I'm wondering here, as parents, we are giving children the care, we are giving them the love, we are giving them the money, the fees, everything we are giving them, they are just taking away. And they're not giving back to us.
They bring the good reports.
No! Who tells you that all of us are happy with reports? Why do you think that parents are hurting? It is because even after doing it all, the report is not the best. But the report cannot be the best if you also cannot tell this person, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is the reality. Mommy, you're tough. Daddy, you're tough. Yes, I'm tough, but I mean well. Parents, learn those the reassuring words. I'm very tough, yes, and I'm not willing to leave you like that. One time, I had an argument with my husband. It was still around children, so he used not to be in the house all the time. So, the time he would get in the home, when this child had got around with an indiscipline, he would easily run to daddy, and daddy would say, when I'm in the house, I don't want the child to complain. I don't want to hear the child crying when I'm in the house. But remember, this person is not usually in the house.
He's a desk caller in the house.
Now, this is what I said. I still quoted the other scripture. Omwana w'amagezi asanyusa kitaawe, naye omusirusi bw'avumaganya nnyina. I spoke right and told him, ndeka nkole omulimu gwange. Now I'm bargaining right. Now parents, we should learn to bargain. Mommy is tough on me. Dad is tough on me. Yes. My dear, I'm tough and I'm willing to become even tougher. But in your life, we always remember that I mean well. And I'll always mean well. No one will love you more than I do. Even when you're beating this child, you assure them, for the beating, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to do this. But always remember, I mean well.
What about children who say that maybe mom or dad doesn't understand me completely? Is that a signal, a good signal, or it is because the parent is trying to do what is right and the child thinks they're only exerting pressure on them?
Now, that depends on the age. If it's adolescents, it is strange. As we do research with the psychologists, this is what it is. Now, these adolescents think they are the best parents of themselves. That's why parents who are in that category are always those children are always complaining. Mommy doesn't seem to understand. That doesn't seem to understand. Now, we quoted something last week. One way of penetrating into their life, because if you didn't build that close bond before the adolescents, when they become adolescents, they automatically run away from you because they cannot open up they cannot open up freely. And what do? Please speak their language. Yeah? The other time we talked of kolabisa.
Yes.
Paka kuwulira bubi. Those things, Yeah? There is that dance. Is it amapiano?
Amapiano.
Yeah, No. Learn to get into their lives. Now, when they hear that you're also into their,
you want the parent to also start the amapiano?
No, you may not start the amapiano, but even the statement that, Mzee is also alert about mapiano, that is also bringing the child closer. You see? Because now you want to get them into your world. You want to put them you want to make them understand what you understand. Grab them. Look for their what? For their language. Yeah? Look for their language. Then, these children at times you may be having many friends, but there is that one friend these children will always report you to. That mommy is not simple. That is not simple. Now, some of us usually get what is happening in those children's lives through another auntie. Now, for example, for me, I have Pastor Eva. She's usually people go. Many of the children, many of us who have been in her hands, all our children run to her, and she knows all the secrets of these children. Now, of course, now I'm not doing Logambo, but this is what happens when she gets information that is just right under emergency. Then she'll call you. How do you pray about this? Or how do you talk to this child? That's how we do it, you see? But children have that person. Now, if you identify that person that those children run to, befriend that person. Because always the information will go into that direction. So befriend that person, bring them closer. Such that you can guard and probably get an avenue of entering into their lives or knowing about their lives.
Okay. Wow, this is very serious. Now, we started by talking about the wants and the needs. Does it mean, because according to what you've said from where we started, it seems like all that the parents are offering, as long as they don't have time to speak to their child and find out what their children what they're going through, things are like that. Those all seem to be wants and not needs. Is that the case?
Now, speaking to our children is their need. They need it. It is not a want. And it is within the speaking. It is within the speaking that, because let's go back to the garden. When we are sowing seeds, I think sowing is easier.
Yeah.
But one thing that really that I hate personally is weeding.
You're not alone.
That's why at times we prefer. There are those people who prefer. Now, like me, I would prefer those things which grow easily without me weeding a lot. Weeding is a principle of results. Now, with that talking, you're weeding. The child is giving you their side of the story. You're also giving them another side of the story. Because at the end of it all, we need we need results. We need fruits from that garden. There is no way we can get fruits from the garden if we didn't get time to weed. The fruits.
Doesn't the quality of fruit also matter?
The quality of fruits won't be the best. Though, on the other hand, there is a Luganda saying that says, "Tuzala mibiri." That is also very, very much there. There is this statement, we do our best and leave the rest to God. As you're a parent out there, and things are hustling here and there, and you're not well because of reproducts, there is something I always want you to remember, that when it comes to love, I loved this child. I gave these children money. I gave her school fees. I taught her how to work. I did this. I did this. I did my best and left the rest to God. There is that kind of parent. And there, the statement to Zaramibidi will suit in well. Then there is this other parent. Sengan namanya. Sengan namanya. So, we don't want Sengan namanya. What do we do here? We keep learning. These sessions are here for us to learn. And parenting doesn't come with a specific manual that this is how we parent to get results. No.
This particular child.
Even after giving in the best, things may be different. But what will satisfy you in your spirit? I did this, I did this, I did this, all in the name of love and care. I've left the rest to God. Because for everything on earth, there is a time and a purpose.
Yeah.
Probably that is your paper that God is setting for you to see you, or as a live example that will help you, a learning statement for for the world.
Okay. I was talking to someone, I think on Saturday I don't remember the day. We were putting on juxtaposition two different parents. Actually, this person is my OB. So we were reflecting on what used to happen at school way back. At one point, I went to St. Peter's here in Zambia. So I did something wrong, and the class teacher called my mom. So when my mom came to school, she said, hey, okay, it is fine. So where do you keep your sticks? Because I need to punish him in front of the class. So she even, I remember she requested for all, we had around 4 streams, so she requested that they call all the other students in the other streams of the same class, so they bear witness as she's beating me for what I did. And for him, he omitted a crime, and the parent came and said, no, my son can never do that. But he says when he went back home, the mother punished him, but at school he said, my son can't do that. And he told me that this is what his mother used to do for all the time he was in school. Now, we were comparing the two. Now, I'll get it from you. Of the two, who do you think was doing the right thing? No. Because me, I was punished once and never was she called again. But because the mother was punishing him at school, at home, he was always in issues at school.
Now you see, when you protect this child and punish them their way, you know, we have two kinds of disciplinary measures. A parent may discipline you the way you want, or the way with a sympathetic discipline. Then there is also the tough love. One thing that I realized will give parents, or has given us results, or will give parents results today and forever, will be tough love. Tough love is the way to go. Now, it was tough love for your case. Did you do that again?
Yeah, up to now.
Now, the other one, the parent was sympathetic and she could not be ashamed the boy amidst.
Actually, the reason he was telling me that story was that teachers gave up on him. They were like, even if you tell his mother, she'll come and deny that the son can't do that. So teachers just let him be. I think that is why he was telling me that story, because we had talked about some teacher.
But now, at this time, could he do the same to his child?
That is my question. That is what is disturbing me now.
Now, this is the answer. We said parenting is not for cowards. And the parenting paper will always, at a certain point, get you pants down. How? When this child sees that for me I cannot let my child, I cannot defend my child to the level my mother defended me. These are children who say, I won't take my children to their grandkids, to their grandmother. Why? My grandmother spoils children because she was not a good parent. There is no way you leave this platform without a blame game. Even when you thought you did it well to me, at times I'll question your parenting system and say, if I were a parent then, I don't think I would do this. Mommy will spoil my children. No, let me keep them in my house. That is how the parenting paper moves. Even at 90 years, even at how many years, there is something that has to happen. And they'll ask, who raised you?
And when it gets to that level, that is something that embarrasses. Okay, sometimes it comes for the good, but most times when it comes, just know there's something wrong.
Yes. Now, parenting, we said it's not an easy paper. But we've read through. We've read through. We never give up. We don't have, it is not for cowards.
No retreat, no surrender.
No retreat, no surrender. There is a statement which says parenting is a 24-hour job. No days off. And yet resigning is impossible. You cannot say that now I'm resigning from parenting. No. There is no way. Even when you feel you're resigning, though there is a father one time who amused me. He's a rich man around town. He said that he has two wives, two wives, and now the big boy is from the first wife. So each time they are calling this man, he's a wealthy man. Your boy is in prison. Your boy stole this. Your boy stole this. So, mommy, one time they imprisoned this boy and mommy came to plead with daddy. Daddy, you know we need this boy out of prison. But daddy said, but my dear, I'm safer when my boy is in prison.
Hey.
And the mother said, but no, you're segregating. We want the other family better, to be better than ours. The man said, no. Each time this boy is not in prison, I'm on tension. They will call me that he has beaten someone, that he has cheated someone, he has stolen a vehicle, that he has... Now, that is one of the outstanding parents I had one time, who would prefer the boy being in prison for him to be for him to be safe. There are those kinds of parents, but those ones are few. Even then, telling us that you're comfortable when he's in prison, when he's already old, much as you give up on them, it's also hurting. And at a certain point, there are times when you've passed all the papers. You've been an excellent person at work. When everyone wants you, when everyone loves you, when everyone believes in you, that man is good, that woman is committed, that woman is this. Yes. Do you know how guilty you may be for yourself? When you fail to pay attention for the 3 children in your house, for the 5 children in your house, and yet the whole world has appreciated you, is celebrating you.
And there was silence in the studio.
In the house.
Well, as we wind up this discussion, and now there is also something that is out there and a little challenging. We've talked about all this, but there are parents who still stand to say, I can never stand to betray my child. We are talking about no retreat, no surrender, but they're saying, I cannot stand to betray my child. Even when they are caught stealing, I rather take the blame that it is me who pestered them to bring food home. And because they had no option, even when they don't know the whereabouts. And we also have parents who have been called on several occasions to report to them about theft issues in dormitories. And they come and say, my child can never steal. I had a case where a parent says she was called because a child was involved in stealing other students' clothes and selling them out, giving them to the scholars to take them to the market to sell them. And then the parent says, that child is the most trustworthy child
In my house.
because even the father gives him his 3 million and he will find the 3 million. How do you tell me he can steal a trouser of 20,000 and sell it, yet he keeps millions for his dad? And the teachers said, okay, you take your child. I think it was something like an indefinite suspension. And while she's home, and the father trying to press the child, the boy confesses that, okay, yes, I did it, but I'll not do it again. I mean, what image is this breeding? I mean, what is it breeding into the other generation that you're dying for?
First of all, those issues are common with with single parents and single mothers. They defend children. In a certain school I was teaching several years back, this child had to come back to school, and she didn't come back because there was a musician who had come in. So they told the child to bring the parent. The lady came to the staff room, and she was bitter, telling the teachers amidst her child, you know, these teachers of yours don't have enough social gatherings. That's why they are headlining. Now, these are very common issues. Actually, most women defend children to that level. And for us as teachers, we've made our research, and that is those women who are like, you know, I'll devote all my life to my child. I gave up on this man. Let me give all the love to the child. Now, this will also be another time topic. Then you end up giving these children overdose of love. Now, when you give them overdose of love, because some would have gone to your partner, that's why you can even defend to that level. But what do we still say? Even when you defend them to that level, at a certain point, actually, a parent who is in that category will never rest. Because issues will always happen. You're the one defending. You will never rest. You will never rest. These are children who get to a certain level. We've seen them on TikTok, chasing their parents out of houses. Because they are now our lords and ladies. We actually obey them. As the Bible says, children, obey your parents. Now, some parents have refused to allow that to be, but instead they are obeying their children.
Wow.
That is already a confusion. Even after how long? You'll have to pay for that price, because what you sow is what you reap.
Thank you so much. I see the time is already out. We need to leave this place. But, Kanokalowozo, parents, do you ever question what your children comes back home with? A child comes back with a t-shirt you never bought for them, or they come back with a pair of shoes you never bought for them. Do you ever question where they get those things from? If you don't question that, then why would you ever deny that they don't steal other people's property? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We have to go. Adrian Austin Mukhalaziz, my name. I've worked with Andrew and Mohumza in transmission. Next is Soul Moment. We meet again tomorrow. Now, tomorrow at exactly 7 p.m., we shall have Empaji. Don't miss this amazing woman of God that we are hosting. But also, we shall have a family hour at 9 as we talk about health. From the entire team, good night.